All right, Shalom Makim. As Zahab, Spirit Wind Judah. All right, to my left.
Hey, Yashima.
All right, today we're going to go into a live stream entitled "Is All About Overcoming." But first and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash, the honor to our elder apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, peace and blessings, health and wealth to the house of David the elect. All right, and like I said, we're going to go into a live stream. The title is all about overcoming, man. So with that being said, we can start with Revelations 2:26. Because we have to reframe our story, all right, here in Babylon, man. We have to have an accurate assessment of why we go through the things that we go through. And shalom to you brothers and sisters who tuning in. All right, we have to accurately assess, all right, why we going through the things we're going through, man. Right? Because, in the world, people had victim narratives and Tupac narratives to justify their actions, to justify selling drugs, to justify their poor character, or being a nigga, a street nigga, whatever it was. They always had a victim narrative as to where they came from, sort of justify their mediocrity. All right, but Yahweh Shai didn't put the elect in these circumstances to make us mediocre. Right, he put us in these circumstances to build our character. All right, and he's going to always put us in situations that we have to learn how to overcome, man. All right, that's something you always get into. So we can get there in Revelation 2.
This is Book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 26. It says, "And he that overcometh and keeping my works until the end."
And keeping my works. That's maintaining your integrity, man. No matter what you have in your background, you gotta still produce. You just gotta hold on to that which you have, man. He that overcometh and keeping my works to the end. A lot of brothers, they might claim to be in the truth, but they stop teaching. They stop going to camp. You still gotta keep the works, man. All right.
Reading on, and it says, "And he that overcometh and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations."
And that power is authority, man. That means that you control, all right, the people. You control them by the laws of Yahweh Shai. The Most High gonna make you the head and not the tail, pursuant to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, man. All right, the first 15 verses, man. He will give you power over the nations. But it said that he that overcome and keeping my works unto the end. So like I said, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, we have to look at the obstacles that we have in our path, the obstacles that we have in our personal life, and pray to Yahweh Shai that he gives us the character and the spirit to overcome it and not use it as a crutch. All right, prime example, when you get pulled to the side and a brother reprove you or tell you something about your character, your ego, your flesh is naturally going to want to defend itself, man. All right, you naturally have a narrative to justify why you are the way you are. And that narrative may be true. The reason why you have this character flaw is because this trauma happened to you in the 3rd grade. That's true. But it's not there for you to justify your mediocrity, man. It's there for you to overcome it. We are the champions, man. A champion means a man that overcame challenges, man.
To rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Well, that's what separates a champion, from a mediocre, all right, player or contestant. Is a champion, all right, knows, how to thrive in circumstances where other people, will use that circumstance, as a crutch, like you said. But a champion knows how to overcome those circumstances and still thrive. And this is what we're being bred. This is how we're being bred. See, the earth right now, with the conditions that it's in, and pretty much all the odds are stacked against us. Especially as an Israelite man, all the odds is already stacked against us. So the ones that endure and overcome it, that means they defeated the odds. You see, so pretty much the character that Yahweh Shem Shai, is building within men. All right, his men is that character of overcoming even when it's not convenient, man.
And quite frankly, we have to overcome ourselves.
That's the first step.
First
stage. That's the main part of the battle, is overcoming us. Because if we don't have power over us, how can he put us over nations? If we can't control us, our direct surrounding, all the things that we have control of right now, if we can't control that, if we can't control the flesh, All right, if we can't do these things now, he's not going to put us over the nations. You know, if we can't add, it's a good chance we can't multiply. You see? So we gotta dominate this. Then we're gonna have dominion with him when he comes, man.
Yeah, how I did it.
Yep.
You know, you had a scripture about to get.
Yeah. What you want to get on?
Yeah. Before you get your scripture, get that in Timothy, and it goes to the protocols of a bishop, the office of a bishop. Because if you go into it, it really goes into first he has to rule over himself. You know, then you rule over your household, and then you rule over your nation. Then you rule over the other nations. You know, and that's fair. No, that's fair, man.
It's like you elevate. It's why you start in, kindergarten, first grade. You got to master kindergarten.
Yep.
Then you go to the next grade.
Because you're not going to understand multiplication until you've mastered adding and subtraction. Because you got to understand the foundation rules. The famous line in that movie, Alexander, this is my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in the movie Alexander. He told his army, he was like, conquer your fears, and I promise you, you will conquer death. But really, that's part of death. Like, conquer your flesh. All right, you basically conquer death, man. All right.
This is 1 Timothy 3:1. It said, this is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop,
which is an overseer,
he desireth a good work.
Yeah.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior.
Yeah, the husband of one wife, which is balanced. He's not giving his energy to these different moving parts, these different women. All right, because he'll give his energy to the scriptures. It tells you that the king shouldn't multiply wives because he has to give his energy to ruling his kingdom. All right.
And it says, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior.
Sober basically is self-control. All right.
It says, given to hospitality, apt to teach. It said apt to teach. That means you're always accessible, to be able to teach the word. When it says apt to teach, man, there's a heavy part, in being an overseer of the Most High's flock, man. Yahweh Shai's flock, is being apt to teach, man. And it says, verse 3, it says, not given to wine.
Now, what does it mean, not given to wine? You're not subject to the addiction of it. Hey, as bishops, man, and bishop doesn't just mean exclusively the head of the count. We're overseers to our nation. But you, as a man of the Lord, you can't be given to anything. You can't be given to wine. You can't be given to your lust. You can't be given to anger. You can't be given to just your emotions in general, man.
Being right.
But you can't be given to your ego. You can't be given to anything, man. It's all about, but guess what? Let's be frank. We came into this truth with those character flaws. But Yahweh Shai is setting us up to overcome those character flaws. Some of us came into this truth with that pride ego because they misunderstood what it meant to be a leader or misunderstood what it meant to be right and wrong. Some of us came in with lust, like we was just given to our libido. Some of us were highly emotional. We thought that was normal to be bitchy, sensitive. A brother rebuke you and you all internally. It's okay because we're here to overcome that, not to justify it.
Because even like you say, giving to it. So even with the women, like you say, the king wasn't supposed to multiply women, which means there wasn't the purpose of him being king wasn't to multiply women. Because even when we go into Solomon, like when Solomon had them wives, well, every wife he had was damn near a business move. That forwarded his kingdom. You see, and at the end of the day, a woman is for a nation building. So are we in a position where we can nation build? So we're not in a position to just be multiplying women crazy like that, man.
Yeah, I've been willing. I can do that lesson tomorrow, man. I'm willing. I don't forget. I can put it down on my phone. It's all about context. You got the laws, you got liberty, you got context. It's all about context, man. You got a lot of Hebrew Israelites. They know the Hebrew Israelites, but they got a house full of women. And they got all these babies bound.
And there's no teaching. Like he's not grooming nothing. Like right now, teaching is the most potent thing because a nation, functions off wisdom. Ain't no sense of multiplying people if the wisdom ain't there. If you ain't got no foundation and wisdom and understanding on how a nation works, why would you be concentrated on multiplying more people into a situation, all right, that's already doomed? You know? Hey, because like you said, like, these little different flaws that we had, that's why the Most High puts us in the fire until that shit change. He'll leave you there. If you don't change that flaw, if we don't change the flaw that's within us when we get dipped in that fire, you know, with tribulation within our life, if we don't change it, he'll keep us there until, hey, you'll be literally on fire with the missiles. You know, since these trials in your day to day, all right, didn't do the job, well, you sit there and these missiles on the way, man.
And don't let you. And then if you're an impediment, if you're an impediment to the count, and if it's ongoing, then that could get you removed from the count. So, you know, because now you're a liability to the count. First it was a liability to you. Now you're a liability to these other lions around you, man. You know, you're slowing down the lions. All right.
And it says, not given to wine nor striker.
Because the scriptures tells you, you know, go not with a bold man. You know, Jake hot tempered.
Yeah, that's ain't.
You know, we men, you ain't feeling, you're not a push. We know you're not a pushover, but Jake, they resort to that gun, you know.
That primitive
shit. Primitive shit. But it's primitive and it's rooted in, I gotta prove to you that I'm not a bitch. And it's like checkers. It's reaction. It's not thinking 2-3 steps ahead, man.
And like you say, that's going to the wisdom.
We
have this wisdom to preserve us to be 6, 7, 8 steps ahead of them. It don't matter how many women is in this spot, how bad they are. If you know the type of niggas that's in there where you're gonna have to demonstrate their primitive, you know, behavior, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it, man.
You see?
And you got at some point, you can't be on the same thing you was on when you first came into the knowledge. At some point in this truth, you should be sort of
you gotta mature.
Yeah, you gotta mature, and you shouldn't be like, you should be kind of like disconnected from that nigga shit, man.
You damn near gotta get in character. You know, I gotta catch myself from saying the water. Salakia. You know, I don't know. You know, none of the new niggas around. I don't know them niggas, man. A lot of things that Jake is on is foreign, man. You know, to me, or you know, to brothers that's, you know, developing like we're here to develop into something great, man. Like the way we were, this wasn't it, man. Even on the end of Minister of Society, all right. What did your boy tell Cain? He was like, look, tell my son that the way we grew up was some bullshit, man. We gotta look at everything, how we were and how we, you know, what we was into was some BS, man.
And this is the way, walk ye in it. You know?
It says, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous.
You covetous, you materialistic, you know, or you're not content with what you have, you know, and that's not saying you can't buy things that you like, but you giving your energy to consumerism. You giving your energy to, you want more women.
You slick competing.
You slick competing. Going back to that ego, you know. So going back to overcoming, a bishop, essentially he overcame those traits. You know.
This is verse 4. It says, I think this is the point you want. It says, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
Now on the spiritual side, pursuant to the book of Job, it said that we dwell in houses of clay. So our body is a house. So first you got to rule this house. Then you got to rule your actual physical abode where your help meeting your church little ones live. But then you got to rule over the house of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see? But first, man, what we have to learn this truth, the first thing, when you're a disciple of Yahweh Shai, the first step is to overcome you, conquer you, man.
Because scripture referred to Yahweh Shai, one of his parables, he referred to the men of the Lord as what? Stewards. All right? And the steward had to be disciplined. Because the steward had to be the one to oversee the portion of food, you know, for all the servants, you know, the portion of wine for the ones that drink, like when it was maybe, you know, every 10 days, you know, we chill out, drink wine, like, but a steward had to have like supreme discipline because he had to be the discipline for everyone else, you know, in his house, man. You know?
And discipline equals power. You know?
I got a quick one on to what you were saying. This is going to getting that house in order. This is 2nd Ezra 14. All right. And 13. It says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
Yeah, you can expound on that, brother.
Yeah, so like you were saying, like it starts with getting our house in order, which is ourself. All right. And then, you know, our actual abode, hey, we start getting these things in order, and some things might have to be cut off, you know, because at the end of the day, the forwarding of our houses start now. Like the we of those men, you know, whom the scriptures speak of, the forwarding of our house start now. See, back then in the ancient world, men made decisions based on their household. You see? The decision that men was making was to forward their household, man.
You know, there was when we first came into the knowledge, I'm quite sure some of you brothers were familiar with it. There was a chart that basically connected all the kings of Europe in the Dark Ages to basically the House of David. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Yeah, but there was a chart that connected all the kings of Europe to the House of David, man. And it's like that's how important their house is. Like you could that house was drawn, that lineage was going from 1,000 years BC to like 1,000 years AD, 1,400 years AD. That house was connected, showing you the power of your name in your house, like the house of Ayash, the house of Zahab. You know, so that's their legacy. You everything you do, this affecting your house. You know. That's a good point.
Bring honor, bring shame.
Bring honor or shame.
Yep. This is 1 Timothy 3:5 says, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High?
Yep. And within your house, let's actually talk about your physical house. But before you get to your physical house, your actual flesh is a house. So you gotta understand that your house is really contrary to your spirit. It's contrary to your Habashman Shai. But just like the actual people in your house, you really have to dominate your flesh. You know, you have to bring them under rule. Like if you have a woman and children, you have to bring them under rule, all right, to your way. All right, same thing with your flesh. Your flesh is basically an untamed animal. So you have to tame your flesh. You have to tame your sex drive, tame your anger, tame your ego. Sometimes you'll be with a brother and y'all might have something in the flesh and you slick want to one-up them. That's your flesh, man. You slick want to, you know, get your lid back on some subtle shit. You know, like that. You have to understand human nature. Human nature, it goes into your testosterone, creates that little ego, that little one-up thing, man.
That little narrative in your head.
The little narrative in your head, but it's all rooted in your flesh. You got to conquer that. That if you, like, your flesh, like if somebody rub you the wrong way, your flesh might want you to show that you like a dominant person, like, hey, everybody got me fucked up. But no, spiritually, you're supposed to be like, hey, bro, I feel like you could have did that a different way. You know, like the nigga way didn't work, man. Nigga culture is basically flesh culture. It didn't work.
And because you're actually trying to solve a problem, you know, instead of, you know, get that one up. You see? Because when you're trying to get a one up, you're going to exaggerate. You know, you're going to exaggerate something that doesn't have to be exaggerated. Like when you're really trying to solve a problem, you address the situation, you know, for what it is. And even in the tone, like even in the tone, all that hollering, screaming, every other word, a cuss word, like, nah, we talk, let's deal. You know, all that old crazy, wild shit and, you know, chest poked out. Nah, let's deal as men. Men don't have to deal, all right, where we one word away from a fight. You know, man, that's not diplomacy, man. That's primitive. Right? Yeah, that's primitive, man. That's a way to deal, you know, as men. When the scriptures say soft answer, like
no, you got it, bro.
When the scriptures say a soft answer turn away wrath, that's because when you speak, because I done seen it done, man, where somebody can be rock, you know, the hoorah shit, and then you speak to them in another tone, it start coming down. You know, you start because you disarm them, like, because now they feel out of place. Now they feel like, damn, I'm doing all this and I'm looking crazy as hell. You know.
Because Jake used to another nigga. Jake like that because a lot of Jakes like that because they feel like I gotta come like that.
Yep.
Because they used to the other nigga, they already anticipated the dude they coming at gonna be on some bullshit.
Yep.
So I already got my chest poked out. So when you respond with a soft answer according to the scriptures, it's like, okay, he ain't even on that.
Yep.
You know? I ain't even gotta do all the who. Another thing too in the flesh, when it comes to logic and reason and solving problems, you gotta already accept that when I present this issue with this brother, I might be wrong. That's another thing too. When you dealing with a brother or you dealing with somebody in the world, you have to accept that even though you presented that problem to them, all right, you have to be ready to be wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You gotta look at it from every way.
Yep.
You gotta look. That's a part of being a judge. That's why we're going through what we're going through.
Yep.
You know, because when we're in the kingdom and judging these heathen nations, we're gonna know exactly where we're coming from because we've been in chattel slavery.
Yeah.
You know, we've been in poverty. We've been middle class, upper middle class. We've been in every position, so we're gonna know sincerely where they're coming from.
Yep.
You know, when we're presented, with these different cases to judge, man.
Like you got the guy, Jay Prince. What's his name? Oh, yeah. Houston.
Yeah, Jay Prince. Yeah.
Jay Prince. His son was on the interview with Vlad, and his son was like, you know, my dad had me start from the bottom to the top with the business. So it wasn't nepotism. I had to sweep the floors when I was younger. I had to do this when I was younger. As I got older, I climbed. That way I know the business inside out. And that's how the Most High did us, man. Mm-hmm. We know how, like you said, we know how it is to be in slavery. We know how it is to be middle class. And certain carnations, we might have been right next to the king. Mm-hmm. So that's to make us a good judge, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is 2 Ezra 7:57. It said, "Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight." You know, and it's letting us know that this is a fight. These conditions that we are in, you know, these are the conditions of the battles that the Most High set up. All right? You gotta think like when you're training to be a Marine or special forces, or you're trying to be an elite athlete, there's already a system set up to weed out the undesired.
This so?
You see? They already have the system. This is the condition of being an NFL athlete. This is the condition of being an NBA athlete. This is the conditions to be a Marine. Well, we're being put in the conditions, all right, to be joint heirs with Yahushua.
It's a machine.
Yeah.
And it's manufacturing a product.
Yeah.
But you used to watch TV shows where they show you how a product is made.
Yep.
What's that, Reading Rainbow or whatever?
Yep.
Some of those products didn't make it to the final cut.
Yep.
Some of those products, they came out faulty.
Yep.
They had to get scooped to the side. Mm-hmm. And that's like you said, the Marines of football. Every football player, every Marine doesn't make that final, that finished product, man. I'm willing with that finished product, man.
Yep. That's the point.
Yep.
It says that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. Mm-hmm. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. Going back to Revelation 2:26. If he overcome, you're going to get the reward. But if he's overcome by the flesh, by your ego, by, your lust, or your attachments, your emotions, if we're overcome by these things, the scripture say we're going to suffer, man. Because you got to understand, like, the men that have been endowed with this ministry, like, our loss will be different. That's why scripture say, he that knew the will, all right, and then complete, you're going to get beat with many stripes. Like the Jacob's trouble for men that know that they're Israelites and don't fulfill their office, it's going to be way worse than just a nigga in the world, man. Mm-hmm. So that's the condition. You're going to overcome or be overcome. That's the position that the Most High put us in. There ain't no in between.
You first come into the truth, the Most High got training wheels.
Yep.
But it comes to some point where like you in the deep end.
Yep.
And if you don't swim, you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna be overcome with the water, man. So I mean, that was it. Yeah, I think okay. And with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakudash, double underscore elder apostles, elder bishops, great millstone rule well. Peace and blessed house, David the elect, Abba, Shalom. Hey, Shalom.